Good afternoon, everyone. This is a special update for the wintry mix mess that is out there for this afternoon. It's, of course, Saturday, February 15th, 2025. So, I want to touch on a few quick things that are floating around there on social media. First of all, the question about the storm that may or may not be on Thursday. I will say this. We will have detailed analysis and much better model data by the time we get to Monday. And like I said on Friday with the premium public video discussion, this is kind of an all or nothing type of situation. Either the phase is perfect or it's not, and we basically have a far less impressive storm, if anything at all. So again, I would say don't waste your weekend looking at model data every 6 hours and staying up to midnight. Relax, enjoy the weekend. It's Valentine's Day weekend. You should be with someone you love or go on a date, whatever. But whatever you do, don't waste your time looking at model data until we get to Monday morning. Then we can finally get a better idea of whether this is going to phase or not. As far as our wintry mixed mess, looks like the warm air is winning the fight, but I wanted to just go on here and just make sure everyone understands what's going on. So, as expected, central and southern New Jersey is having temperatures steadily rise. The key observation here is a southeasterly wind that has set up here. Easterly winds kill snowfall chances. So, the fact we have this well sustained and our temperatures are already at freezing over northeastern New Jersey means that a little bit warm air, and this is going to start to mix over to rain. But still, let's talk about the fact that what if it overperforms? Because I'm seeing that, and I don't think it will. But obviously, when you start to see accumulation, even though a dusting to an inch is expected in many of these locations, and we'll go look over the forecast again, there's always that expectation. Well, let's look at southern Pennsylvania. We're already seeing that the rain is starting to show up here. It's more of a freezing rain, right on the cusp of freezing, right around freezing. You can see much warmer conditions down in Philadelphia, 36, 37. That warm air is all driving in from the surface. This is one layer. This is the boundary layer. This is the surface layer. So you can see our cold air is not very well established. And the key way to understand or to see whether or not you're going to be changing over to rain or whether the cold air is going to be able to put up a fight is where's your high pressure system located? Well, it's here. That's not good. When you have high pressure centered over the Gulf of Maine or around New Hampshire, then you can make the case for cold air damming and cold air getting funneled down into the coastal plain. And in that case, you would have a northeasterly wind. When you have your high pressure system down here, it's only a matter of time. And we're already starting to see that snow transition to sleet and rain. And so the transition process is already happening. But let's dive in even further. Now, here's our radar. Here's the back end of the warm air transport associated with this. We still got more on the way afterwards with waves of rainfall setting up for today on through tomorrow, with along with that the potential for some very strong winds. So why is this happening? Well, what's going on right now? Well, the warm air is winning the fight here. You can see that changeover line is starting to push northward. Now, typically with this type of radar, you're going to go back and forth depending on the 850 millibar temperature. But you kind of get the idea here. It's like that the warm air is winning this fight gradually, and your warm air transport associated with the snowfall, while it is strong, it has a cutoff time period, which is back here. Then you have your steadier rain back here. Let's zoom out here, and it'll be just a minute. And you can see this low pressure system is tracking up towards the Great Lakes, and all this moisture is heading for us. So that's why we're looking at possibly 1 to 2 inches down towards southern New Jersey and significant rainfall even after this further north. But here is where we really dive into the details of the different layers in the atmosphere. But it's a bit limited, so we're also going to take a look at the SKU-T in just a moment. So right now at the surface, you can see our cold air is losing the fight, the southeasterly wind, but at 925 millibars, it's a little bit slower. You have a little bit, because we had a little bit of dry air at 925 millibars, the warm air transport, although it is ongoing, has not been as impressive. So it's just taking a little bit longer, this little cold layer. So this would definitely make an argument that, okay, maybe the cold air is trying to put up a fight. Then you put up 850 millibars, and well, the warm air transport is driving. Now, what is the difference between these two? Well, at 925 millibars, the winds are a little bit weaker. And at 850 millibars, they're much stronger. Okay. So the warm air transport is much more aggressive. When we take a look at the winds here, let me pull that up. You can see what I'm talking about. That jet streak is driving right in. When I saw this jet streak in the mild guidance yesterday, I knew that, hey, I'm staying with the forecast. I don't care if there's colder guidance because this is basically driving warm air. So you have the warm air transport at the surface coming in from the Atlantic Ocean, and now you have it at the mid levels. But there's even more. Okay, here's your winds here at 700 millibars. They're getting stronger too. So this setup here tells me like, hey, this is an environment where we're going to get a lot of warm air surging in. And when you look at the skew T, this is the skew T chart. And what I did is I put it over the cold sector for this hour. And what it shows me is that there's that 9 to 25 millibar colder part. Here at the surface, we're starting to warm above freezing. This right here with the strong winds tells me very strong warm air transport is on the way. So in this scenario, what you end up with is that you start to mix over with sleet and then sleet and rain, and you lose your snow in this environment. And that's typically how the process evolves here with the strong warm air transport, with that strong wind showing up at these levels here compared to 9 to 25 millibars. This right here tells me that, hey, that transfer, that transition process is going to be pretty steady and pretty impressive as we move forward in time. So what that leads to is what we're seeing here in the HRR with this steady transition. Okay. So beyond that point, then we start talking about the potential is that, are we going to see freezing rain here? Because the HRR is showing this. Over the interior, if we follow what's going on here with our temperatures at the surface and this southeasterly wind that's going to be veering to the southwest, these temperatures should be able to rise just above freezing. So I don't buy the widespread ice threat here. What I think is going to happen is that we will see a period of freezing rain in the far northern interior, but I think it's going to be a lot shorter and it's going to transition much faster because there's nothing really to keep the cold air in place with that warm front steadily moving northward. But still, if you are traveling tomorrow morning in these locations in the Poconos, Catskills, extreme northwest New Jersey, the like I said, the Catskills, Central Hudson River Valley, northwestern Connecticut, use some caution. Temperatures will be well above freezing by that point, but there's still going to be some slick spots. So overall, the expectation with this forecast is pretty much evolving as expected. Your best potential for snowfall is well to the north and central Massachusetts, where someone's going to be pushing over 6 inches of snow out of this. Then in zone 2, we're talking about 3 to 6 inches. That's a lot of Connecticut, especially away from the coast, central Hudson River Valley. In zone 3, I still like the idea of 1 to 3 inches, extreme northeastern New Jersey, back through northwestern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, the coast of Connecticut. And then the dusting we already have, it's going to start to change over to rain. Temperatures are already above freezing here in central New Jersey, as we have shown. And we're going to see that transition continue to evolve as we move on through the afternoon. So overall, the forecast is taking place as expected. Now, as far as tomorrow is concerned, as this storm lifts to the northeast and that strong jet streak settles over the region, there's going to be a lot of mixing. I would not be surprised if we get a few low-end thunderstorms out of this. Nothing that's too impressive, but don't be surprised to get some rumbles of thunder tomorrow afternoon, even tomorrow morning. With all that mixing with the strong jet streak that we have in place that's changing our precipitation over the rain, it's also going to lead to the potential for some of those winds to get mixed down. So sustained winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, Gusts pushing over 30, possibly 40, 50 miles per hour at times. Don't be surprised if there's some power outages because of that. So it's not the best conditions for driving either. So if you don't have to go out tomorrow, hey, stay in, enjoy a movie, but there's no point in getting yourself into those conditions. So what I want to get across to you, the evolution of the storm is pretty much taking place as expected. Transition will continue to show a shift from snow to sleet to rain as we move on through the evening. By about midnight, everyone's going to be over to rain as the warm air takes hold. Watch out for some slick spots in the Poconos and Catskills tomorrow morning and extreme northwestern New Jersey. So if you're driving around Sussex County in New Jersey, you're going to have to watch out for some freezing rain. And if you are in the Hudson River Valley, Poconos, and Catskills, same thing as well. Everyone else, I-95 corridor, southern New Jersey, just plain rain. That is your forecast discussion, forecast update. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And as always, stay safe out there.